Hey guys, Josh here. In today's video we're going to be looking at the salaries for the F1 2015 grid. Of course this is just the annual salary for 2015, not including bonuses or what they're going to earn in future years or what they earn from sponsorship, just their raw annual salary. And this is from the Grand Prix Times. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. Just thought I'd do a bit of a different video today. And just looking at salaries is something we've never really done on this channel, but I thought, why not? Let's just discuss it. It's just something interesting to do. And this was recorded, by the way, on the 23rd of July. This video, you probably won't be watching it then, just because I've been scheduling these videos. I've been trying to get out quite a few videos just for the next coming weeks when I'm on holiday. So I hope you guys are having a great summer and you do guys enjoy this video. And let's go straight into it then. At the top, it's Fernando Alonso earning 35 million euros a year. Just shows how much McLaren wanted him, but they're forking out that much. Just for 2015, just for Fernando Alonso. So they clearly value his experience and his pure driving talent very, very highly, because they wouldn't have forked out that much if they didn't think he was crucial to McLaren for these next coming years. Sebastian Vettel is the second highest earner this season. He earns 28 million euros. Of course, that's not including bonuses. If you add the bonuses on, then I do believe he actually earned upwards of 50 million euros, so he's probably the most highest paid in terms of that. But annual salary, he's just behind Fernando Alonso, then even more than he earned at Red Bull. Ferrari, of course, really wanted him, and it was very kind of 50-50 if Vettel would actually stay at Red Bull. But I think that extra money, and of course, mainly, the fact that Ferrari have a more competitive car has certainly led to that. And Ferrari's budget is so high, isn't it? They can just afford to splash out on these drivers. Kimi Räikkönen, Vettel's teammate, is fourth on the list at 18 million euros. A lot forked out for Vettel and Räikkönen. Of course, Vettel being paid 10 million euros just shows the status between those two. Vettel is, of course, the clear number one, even more so at Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton's third on the list with 25 million euros for this season. However, Nico Rosberg's down in fifth with just 13.5 million euros, so nearly half the salary of Hamilton Rosberg earns, despite Rosberg being at the team longer, and of course still kind of challenging Hamilton very highly for wins. But of course it just shows that Hamilton's certainly the number one driver at Mercedes. He's the guy that won the last championship. He's the guy that's leading, and he's currently on his way for his third world championship and his second with Mercedes. So not really too surprising there, but Hamilton really earns double what Rosberg earns, which I think is a very interesting fact. And certainly something that, people say like they're being biased to Rosberg. Just look at the salaries. They're clearly not being biased to Rosberg. Hamilton is certainly the more marketable person, is arguably the faster and better driver overall, but still a good partnership. And I guess Rosberg is that kind of one where they don't have to splash out quite as much for that kind of top tier driver that Lewis Hamilton is. Another kind of massive difference between teammates. Of course, I mentioned Alonso's top of the list. Well, guess who's sixth? It's his teammate Jenson Button, who just earns 10 million euros each year. Of course, it's still a lot of money, of course, for the 35-year-old, I believe he is. Of course, so it's still, twilight of his career, probably earning not quite as much as he was in previous years with McLaren, but had to take a pay cut for 2015, but clearly, Button's, I think, more in it just for the racing. He doesn't really, I don't think, mind too much about the money. Some of the drivers are kind of a bit more about the money and a bit more money motivated, but I don't think Button's that kind of driver. I think he's just kind of, there just to do his job and would rather race than be paid a high salary. Hence the pay cut for 2015 has been agreed just so Button could race on for another year. Seventh is Felipe Massa, and he's also joined by Hülkenberg, Perez, Grosjean and Maldonado. So both Lotus and both Force Indias and the Williams Felipe Massa all earned 4 million euros a year. So there's quite a step down from the top six, and then you kind of get into the kind of midfield kind of tier drivers, or those who haven't been quite around as long. Of course, Massa's been around a long time, but Williams, if you have to remember, it's so easy to forget, Williams have the budget of a midfield team or kind of a low kind of top team, then don't have the budget of Ferrari and Mercedes, hence why they can't compete on a consistent basis and can't quite get that extra mile to be kind of leading the championship, which Mercedes and Ferrari are fully capable of. Williams can't really do that just because of their budget, so hence why they're only paying Massa 4 million euros, but it's still double what they're paying Bottas, who gets a measly 2 million. So if you think if Bottas moves to Ferrari, that would probably triple, that would probably quadruple, probably go up to over 10 million, I predict anyway. I think Bottas probably won't care about the money, but it'll still be a nice addition if Ferrari are paying him you know, a lot more than Williams can ever afford to pay him. Like, they won't be able to keep him just because they can't afford to pay him enough, and they can't guarantee they're going to have a quick car. It all comes down to finances in the end, because not only is it a high salary, but, you know, like I mentioned, it's providing a quick car, and that costs a lot of money, and it's something that Williams don't have. So I think that's going to be a key move in Bottas, you know, leaving to join Ferrari. Interesting that Force India and Lotus drivers earn more than the Williams drivers put together, which is interesting actually. You know, of course, Force India are splashing out 8 million, so are Lotus. Williams are only splashing out 6 million for both of their drivers, so that's kind of interesting. Despite Williams being a much better team than, of course, Force India and Lotus in terms of car pace, and Force India as well. You know, they're paid the same, and Lotus paid the same. I think that's a good dynamic that both teammates are paid the same. I think that shows they're very equal. Even though possibly Hülkenberg and Grosjean are better than those teammates, I think it's, you know, fair, and I think creates a good working atmosphere if both of them are paid the same, and paid quite a bit really for a midfield team. 4 million euros is pretty good, especially when you look further down at Red Bull. Red Bull, of course, the team that have won the last 4 drivers the constructor standings, probably have a lot of money, a lot of backing from Dietrich Mateschitz, are saving so much money by not paying their drivers nearly as much as some of their rivals. Listen to this: Danny Ricciardo gets paid 1.5 million euros in 2015. Danny Fiat gets paid half that. I'm guessing that's because Danny Fiat's in his first year, and maybe if Danny Fiat next year is going to get paid double that, I'm guessing. I don't know, but think that Vettel got paid, as far as I'm aware, around about 22 million euros when he was at Red Bull. And now Daniel Ricciardo's earning 1.5 million, and he beat Vettel in 2014 and won 3 races, and they still haven't given him a very expensive contract. It just shows that they're not money motivated at all, and Red Bull are really saving costs just down to drivers, and that's a lot of money. If you think 30 million euros, that could go in to some good research and development for the, you know, the car, and they're really kind of saving a lot of money on that. And you know, Red Bull's sister team, Toro Rosso, they're both earning 250,000 for Verstappen and Sainz, so a good bit of equality there. Also at Sauber as well, they're both earning £200,000. Of course, a lot of sponsorship from Nasr and Ericsson. It's kind of a weird deal when you've got sponsorship, because you say pay driver, and it sounds like the drivers are actually paying out of their own pocket for the seat, but what you got to remember is their sponsors paying for their seat. It's not really their money, if that makes sense. They're not like billionaires and they're just paying for their seats. It's their sponsors that are paying for their seats, so you got to remember that really they're not getting paid that much, only 200,000 each. But I guess for Sauber, you know, that's not too bad, I guess. Even worse for Manor. And look at this, between driver equality, right? Stevens is getting paid £150,000. Roberto Merri is getting paid 50,000 euros a year. Sorry, for this season. That translates to about what, 35,000 pounds. No, you guys, American guys, will have to work it out yourself for dollars. But for pounds sterling anyway, that's about 35. I mean, I know probably most people and most adults, you know, I'd say maybe 50% of adults, or maybe even more, earn more than that in their jobs, you know, let alone a racing driver who's racing in the top tier of Formula 1. I'd even go so far as to suggest that you might earn more in GP2 than 50,000, so clearly Merri and Stevens are not in it for the money. They're not getting paid very much at all. I doubt sponsorship, in terms of like advertisement or people wanting to like sponsor Merri is going to be that much. But I guess, I don't know, they've obviously bought their way in through sponsors, so I guess they do have a lot of sponsors. Maybe they do get paid quite a lot in terms of sponsorship, but I think they're just happy they've got a drive, to be honest. I mean, Merri, I still can't believe that. He's only getting paid 50,000 million euro. Sorry, 50,000 euros. 50,000 million, wow. That'll be a lot. So yeah, not very much at all. But anyway, as I mentioned, you guys can go and check out the full list. Definitely recommend it. Just a bit of fun, really. Seeing how much each Formula 1 driver earns is slightly interesting, and just a bit of, you know, inter-team politics, really, with how much everyone's getting paid. It's quite interesting. Anyway, as I mentioned before, that's nothing to do with sponsorship or bonuses, so I'm sure, you know, next season as well it's going to change. If Hamilton's going to become the top earner, Vettel, if you add on that kind of bonus clause, then he's the highest earner, so it's all a bit complicated, but just the raw salaries are very, very interesting. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Then you guys can leave your thoughts. Then what do you think of those salaries? Is anyone you surprised don't get paid enough? Certainly to me, the one that jumps out is Red Bull. How their drivers aren't getting paid very much at all, and also Williams as well, but I guess that, as I mentioned, that's down to budget. Also Rosberg earning half of Hamilton as well is very interesting, and Button earning just a third of what Alonso earns. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as I mentioned, put your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to like, share and subscribe for more weekly F1 content. See you guys next time. Goodbye.